infatuate.
Just
Can
anywhere
else I'd be a 10.
What will it take for her
to see the man behind the 10 and fight for me? Girl, away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I got to be good. Hey everyone!
And welcome to the pilot episode of our podcast, Not Your Average Fangirl.
I'm your host, Grace.
And I'm your host, Addison.
And this is our pilot
This
episode.
is our first episode. This
We're
is crazy.
so excited.
Very excited.
It's been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
Few months now.
Also, you're in Florida.
I'm in Florida, yes.
You're
I've
here.
been staying with Addison so we could record our first few episodes of the podcast and to hang out, of course.
And to hang out and take some
yes.
pictures.
Yes, so many.
We didn't have a lot of pictures together before this trip.
Yeah, because every time we've seen each other, it's been at a convention.
It's just so busy.
And it was so busy, so we barely got any pictures. Like, we got some, but this time we were actually able to get some pictures.
Yeah, some really cute
It was
ones.
really good.
Specifically for the podcast, too.
And we're really excited to share them. Some of the new ones we took on an actual camera, so
yeah,
those will be coming out
so
soon.
Cute.
They are very cute.
Yeah, so, I mean, with the pilot episode, so we asked you guys, like, on our Instagram, if you're not following it, by the way, you should definitely go do that. It's notyouravagefangirl.pod. We are going to do, like, a lot of things where you guys can interact and ask questions that'll be in podcast episodes. So definitely go check it out.
Yes.
But we asked you guys what you wanted to hear from us on the podcast, and I feel like 50% of the answers were pretty much like about us. Like, we want to know like about you guys, how you met,
background
where you
info,
the idea to start a podcast. So that's kind of what we're planning on talking about this episode.
Yes,
it's basically all
we're
about
super
us.
Excited.
Our pilot, it's all about us.
Yes.
So
our pilot episode. We really love the name. So if we
we're,
say it a bunch of times,
we're very proud of it. I was gonna say it's so cute, but like if you guys tell us it's cute, it'll make us feel really happy.
Yes.
So
tell us it's cute, please. All right.
Yeah, so like I guess
let's get into
we gotta start at the beginning, you know? So like
how we met,
and
then how this all came to be.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I like when I started posting about like TBD and stuff, that was like literally like a year ago, like in August of last year. And I started posting about TVD and Teen Wolf and stuff, and I saw your videos on my For You page like a bunch. Like they just kept popping up.
That's me.
And then one of them was about the convention and how you were going, and I was like, I'm going to that convention, and I loved your videos, so I went to your Instagram and I want to say I followed you and I commented on one of your posts.
Yes, so she commented on one of my posts, and then after that I DM'd her, and we kind of just had a conversation flowing from there. We started talking about each other, and I asked a bunch of questions, and then the convention was right around the corner, so we were about to meet in person.
Yeah, it was literally like 2 months, maybe.
Yeah, not even. I feel like it was a little less. I don't know. Yeah, somewhere around there.
It was pretty quick.
Yeah,
like we started talking
quick.
And then we were like about to meet each other for the first time.
And then we met in October of 2022.
Yeah.
At the convention we went to.
Yeah.
And that Friday we officially met in person, and we kind of just hung out like throughout the whole weekend.
We went to Your Pie and got lunch.
Yes, Your Pie.
Yeah, if you ever go to Covington, go to Your Pie. It's so delicious.
The best place in Covington.
So good.
But yeah, that was one of our like first like hangouts, and then throughout the weekend we were kind of all over the place, but we still like hung out together.
Yeah, that first night though on Friday, so this is kind of like a funny little story that's like become a tradition now, but we were at an event, and the way the parking was set up, someone ended up like parking on all sides of me and my mom's car, and so we were literally stuck in this field parking lot,
like actually trapped.
And we gotta bring up Steve, Grace's dad.
Steve, shout out.
Steve, shout out. What an icon Steve is.
What a guy.
And he like literally tried everything to get my mom's car out, and it was just we weren't getting anywhere.
Tried to shimmy out like even through a little space.
He helped someone else get out, but we couldn't get my mom's car
out. So
and we were getting really hungry at that point. So we were like Googling food restaurants, obviously it's a restaurant, it's food.
It was late too.
It was late. We were sleep deprived at that point.
So there wasn't a lot of places open, but
and the only place like was Waffle House.
Shout out Waffle House. It was so good. That was my first time there too.
Yeah, it was.
It was really good.
But it was really funny because we were in like ball gown like type vibes. Like we were in dresses.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk into this Waffle House, and I guess because it was a Friday night, a football game had just gotten out. And so we
Oh
walk
my
in,
god.
we're in dresses, and there's a bunch of teenagers with like paint
Just
on their
like
face
pinked
and
out. It
like,
was like a pink out
yeah.
football game. And
And
we're
we were just
like,
like, that's so
okay. But
awkward.
like we didn't even care that much
We were
because we
just
were
hungry.
so hungry. It was so late. It was such a long first day. Like not even in a bad way. We were just
Yeah,
like doing
we were
so
having
much.
fun. It was just busy.
Yeah. It's a
It's a
tradition
tradition
now.
now. We actually just had Waffle House like 2 nights ago.
Yes, it was great.
And obviously we had Waffle House in April.
Yeah.
So it's
Had to
just,
share that because that
it's
was
a
one of our
tradition.
first like
Yeah,
wholesome moments
together. Yeah.
Yeah, but the rest of that weekend was a blast, and then Sunday was a
Ugh.
fantastic day because that
Well, I
was
feel like,
also another experience.
yeah, that was another experience. But
Yeah.
like first off, I feel like it's also like really cool that the first time we met each other, we got to like
Yeah.
be there for each other when we met our
Yes.
favorites.
Oh my gosh, Ian and Daniel.
Like I feel like while introducing us, we gotta say. So obviously
Yes.
my dude is Daniel Gillies.
Yes, mine is Ian Sommerhalder.
And like we were there when we met them for the
Each
first time.
other's
Yeah, so it was so cool.
favorites.
Yeah,
It was
like we
so
were both
fun.
freaking out.
So special. Like
Yeah,
to meet a new friend and then to meet our celebrity crushes.
like
it was
together
great.
with them. Like
It was
so
so
cool.
fun. Jinx! But no, that was great.
Yeah. So then, speaking of Ian, I feel like we could save this for another episode, but I want to
Yeah.
do it now just because it was
I
such a
wanna
big
share it.
moment.
It was
such,
really
yeah,
cool.
I feel like we gotta mention it. So
We'll do it quick. We'll briefly run over it.
yeah. So if if you follow me, which if you don't, you should go do that.
Go
My
follow.
Instagram is Addi.asks and my TikTok is Addison.Brienne. And what are yours?
I'm Live Love Ian Sommerhalder on both platforms.
Yeah. So if you follow me, then you would know that I do a lot of like little interviews with the cast members.
Yep.
So with that, like, you know, happening, this was our first Vampire Diaries convention for both of us.
Yep.
And so I'd done a few interviews, but obviously, like, you know, top of the food chain, like the ultimate goal would be
Ian Sommerhalder. Come on now.
And our friend Kiara, also, we gotta mention her.
Shout out Kiara, our favorite videographer.
Yes. She wanted Ian to do this little video for her like recap of the weekend that she does. And she was like, I think I'm gonna go ask him. And I was like, can I come? Like, should I ask for an interview? And everyone around me was like, do it, like just ask. And so I was like, okay. And disclaimer before I get into this, I just want to say we both had permission to ask. Like,
permission was there.
Don't go up asking like for random things. Like, please, like just putting that out there. We both had permission to go up to him and ask
disclaimer.
that. Quick disclaimer. Okay, so we went up to him and we asked, and he was like, "Oh my god, like yes, like I'd love to. Like that's awesome. We're gonna do that. Yeah, like for sure. Yeah, I literally like no, I'm still in that moment. Okay, like."
Whew.
I never
amazing.
But he said yes. And so that was like during autographs. And if you've ever attended a convention and met Ian, you know that his autograph line, it's extremely long.
Longer than like anyone's.
Like he will be the last person done at every convention. Like it's just who he is. Yeah. So that night was the bourbon tasting event that they did. And so by the time he was done, like we were still in the room, like just kind of waiting to see if he would have time and be able to do it. Mm-hmm. And everyone around him is kind of rushing him. They're like, Ian, you got to get to the bourbon tasting. Like we got to go right now. And he sees us and he's like, no. Like I promised I would do this video. I'm doing this video for them. Like I'm doing these things.
Wow.
And we all were like, oh my god,
starstruck.
Like there's no way
starstruck.
He just said that like about us. Like no. And so he told us to go to one place, and so we're over there waiting for him. And then I guess plans changed, and all of a sudden we see this golf cart like
ready to pick us up,
full speed coming towards us. It doesn't even go to a stop. Like my man is still moving.
It was such a quick experience.
Yeah, and this guy's like, hop on, like we're going like right now. And so while he's still moving, like we
all hop on.
Yeah. And like we have videos from us on that golf cart, and it's like the emotions that we felt in that second like are unmatched. Like
amazing. Like the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy.
I was just there for the experience. I was kind of taking videos in the background, but
some behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
And so he drives us over and we get to do the interview and the video, and like, oh my gosh, it was just like so
It was
fantastic. Like
so fun
us getting to experience like that like private moment with him together, like
together.
it was just so cool.
And after that, we were just starstruck, like, we were outside of that little
I
building we
was
were
laying on the
in.
parking lot
Yeah,
ground. Like
it
I was
was
just
just,
laying
like,
there.
reflecting on that, like, how did that just
Like
happen?
there's no way. Like I
Yeah,
still can't fully believe it. Like I look back at the interview or like at Kiara's video and I'm like, there's no way.
there's no
Like that
way.
did not happen. And that was like our literally our first
Yeah,
interaction with TVD people
and we were
and that
together,
happened.
like, the first time we met, it was just crazy. It was a great weekend. It That
I
just
feel like the
started our
emotions,
friendship.
yeah, like the emotions and like the feeling of that weekend like can never be
Yeah,
recreated. Like there was just something about it. Like it was
it
our
was
like
amazing.
first time at everything, you know, meeting
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
and visiting Mystic Falls and I don't know, it was just so
yeah.
cool.
So that's kind of how we met and we became friends.
Yeah.
And then how a lot of people have been asking how we came up with the idea to start our podcast.
Yeah.
And we kind of thought of it at like the exact same time. So do you want to explain your part
Yeah,
first?
so my mom was like talking to me and she was like, "You should create a podcast. Like I feel like that'd be so much fun for you." And I was like, "You're right." And then I saw like two people I follow made a podcast together and I was like, "What if me and Grace did one together?" And my mom's
Woo!
that's a great idea." And I was like, "Okay." So I wasn't going to text Grace until I had like figured out like we wanted to have like a base idea for it, like a name or
Yes.
something like something to go off of. And literally that day as I'm trying to figure out what we might call it, I get a text from
And I was
Grace.
like, we should start a podcast, like something with Vampire Diaries. And I originally thought it was going to be just Vampire Diaries, but then as we like kind of developed it, we were like, okay, it's going to be like all fangirl
Yeah.
stuff. And then that's how our name came
Yeah,
into
like
the
we knew we
situation.
wanted to include fangirls somehow
Yeah.
because it's the easiest like word to describe all of the things we
Us.
love, you know?
Literally. Yep.
Because we love Vampire Diaries, but we both also post about other shows and we love
Yes.
other shows. We also love music and I love
Yes.
books,
Concerts, all of that
concerts. Yeah, like
stuff.
there's so much more to it than just TVD. So we decided we just wanted something with fangirl. And I don't know, we were brainstorming for a while,
Yeah.
just like thinking about it. And my mom, like, credit to my mom. This is like,
Shout out.
she was a big part in this. She was on Google and she was like, let me just like search up the definition of fangirl. And so that's what she did. And it came up and it was like one of like it being used in a sentence or something. It was like, but these fangirls are not your average fangirls. And
And
like
there
she
it
said that and we were
is.
like, that's it. Like that's the name.
Not your average fangirl.
Yeah. And it's like, it's so like fun to say
Yeah.
one and like it's so perfect too.
Yes. And we wanted the fangirl to stand out. So like that's why it's in a different font, like not your
Yeah.
average. And
I
then
remade
fangirl.
I remade that logo so many
Yes. We
times.
had to make it perfect because
Yeah.
it really just is what we are. We're fangirls.
Yeah. And the name is like extra perfect just because like on top of us being like crazy obsessive fangirls, we're also not your average because you
Yes.
know we go to the conventions and make TikToks with the cast
Talk to
members
them,
and
all that stuff.
do interviews and like you know we do crazy things like she like like what did you tell
Oh
the
yeah.
Sydney Sweeney
So with
little
Sydney
story.
Sweeney, I'm a big like Euphoria fan and just like a fan of Sydney Sweeney, and she was in my hometown, and like I was trying to look for her like the first time like she came, not to be a stalker or anything, but then I like gave up hope. And then the other night I was out in town at my friend's house and someone's like, "Oh, she's in town." So we like literally ran around the whole town like trying to meet her, and we like gave up hope. We got ice cream, and then little do we know, we see Sydney Sweeney walk into like one of the most like popular ice cream shops in town, and we're like,
What?
what? That was
Yeah.
just one of my like crazy fangirl experiences because I love her so
Yeah.
much. But
Similar, like sort of for me. Like I met Ben Barnes in LA, but I also I slept on the sidewalk in LA for Harry
hey,
Styles for Pet.
that
So
is crazy.
yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of sums it up. You know, like we're fangirls, but
Not your
not your average.
average.
That was so cheesy.
Yeah.
That was so cheesy. I'm sorry. I'm
Let's just
so
keep that
sorry.
in there. Create a
Yeah. So once we
podcast
had the name, it was kind of like logo was next.
logo.
And
Yes.
like we were talking about it and I was kind of just on Pinterest. Like I was kind of thinking like a TV or like a
Yeah.
laptop, like as if you're watching TV.
Shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that's like the main thing is shows that we'll be talking
Yeah.
about. Like obviously we'll also talk about like books and music,
Other
but
stuff. Yeah.
the main focus is shows because that's what we spend most of our time doing.
Literally every single day.
And so I was like looking for ideas and I found like this cute little vintage TV and I was like, that's kind of fun, but like the colors were really bland. So I want to say like we were talking about it and we were like,
Just
what
like
colors?
trying to pick
Yeah, like,
scheme.
because we had to think about, like, the aesthetic of, like, our Instagram and, like, to
Yeah.
match the rest of our vibe, like, choosing the colors for the logo would, like, predict a lot of
Yeah.
everything else,
The colors
so
played a really important part. And then we kind of just decided on the pink and purple.
yeah.
They go really well together. They looked great with like the TV that we ended up choosing,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah, that's
it.
kinda that's the base,
Then we
so
found a TV and we put it all together, and now our whole color scheme is just, it
pink
plays a
pink
big
and
part. Yeah,
purple.
like we're
Turned out
wearing
s
pink and
It
purple
turned
right
out so
now.
cute, yeah.
Yes, we love
Our little
it.
matching shirts that we just bought, like, yesterday.
Yeah. But it's okay. Now that we had the logo, we wanted to kind of figure out all of the things we're going to talk about in the
Yeah.
podcast.
Like, we just brainstormed, like, a
Yes,
lot.
we wrote a bunch of things down. Of
Lots of
course,
texting.
a lot of texting back and forth. Of course, we
Um,
wanted Vampire Diaries because our accounts are, we post a
that's
lot
kinda,
about
like,
the
where
Vampire
we both, like,
Diaries.
started, like, that's, like, the
Yes.
base.
So it had to be the Vampire Diaries and other shows, Outer
Yeah.
Banks, Teen Wolf.
Supernatural for me.
Yes.
Um,
All like popular shows you could think of.
yeah. Lots of, like, supernatural-based shows.
Yes. We love the supernatural shows,
Yes.
so
All of them are so good. What else? Oh, Bridgerton. I'm a huge Bridgerton fan.
The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Obviously,
Oh my gosh.
obviously.
Amazing show.
Okay, but, like, what team are you?
I'm Team Conrad.
Yeah, me too.
we're Conrad girlies.
Conrad girlies
Kind of
forever.
Jeremiah haters.
Yeah, season
Not
2 Jeremiah haters,
but
sort of.
kind of, maybe.
Gavin enthusiast, but season 2 Jeremiah haters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not doing it this season. Okay, he like looks more attractive in this
Yeah,
season,
like, he had
but
a
he's
glow
like
up,
worse.
but, like, yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah.
Okay, to change
Anyways,
the topic.
moving on, 'cause
Yeah.
this is not about Summer I Turned Pretty right now. We could talk about it forever, though.
Yeah.
So
We're definitely gonna
do an
loop
episode
in.
on that.
Yeah, 100%. We're gonna loop in movies. If you guys want us to
Yes.
maybe watch parts of movies,
Yeah.
books.
Books.
Addison's a big
Yes.
book girl,
I
so
am. My room is covered in books.
covered. It's amazing though.
Yeah.
I stan.
Thank you.
Oh,
Marvel.
Yes, Marvel definitely.
Movies, we're both big MCU fans.
Yeah.
So
We said books, music, and concerts because
okay, so like let's like zero in a little bit more. Like, what are some of
Yeah.
like, your favorites? So like we already named TV shows, but like what are your favorite like movies?
My favorite movie. Okay. This like goes along with books kind of, but The Great Gatsby. I was talking about this earlier. Fantastic movie. She has to watch The Great Gatsby.
Yes,
I don't know
I'm
if
going
you
to read
guys
it.
have
I'm gonna
watched
read
it, but definitely just, I don't know. That movie always comes to mind. And I love Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler. I've watched that movie 20 times. It's one of my favorites, definitely. But I like a wide variety of movies, except scary. What about you?
I do actually like scary movies. For movies, I definitely love Don't Worry, Darling. I mean,
So
I'm
good.
a huge Harry fan, but that's not the only reason I love the movie. I love psychological thrillers, like in books or movies, and it's just such a good one. I love The Greatest Showman. I'm not even like a huge musical person, but I love The Greatest Showman.
It's really
probably,
good.
like, overall, like since it came out, the movie that like I've watched the most. Like I rewatch it like monthly.
Yeah, I've seen it like twice, but it's still amazing.
Yeah, I just love the vibes, and the songs like are actually so good. Like I have them on my playlist for sure.
I belt those songs in the car.
Also, back to Marvel, since we're talking
about
movies.
say Marvel.
What are your favorite Marvel movies?
Okay, I'm kind of basic, but Infinity War is like one of my all-time favorites. I've watched it probably over 10 times.
Yeah.
It's just so good, and I love when all of the actors are like in the movies together. So I love Endgame, and then Captain America Civil War. Wait, is that what I said before?
Yes. Yeah.
Civil War, one of my favorites. Sorry, I got them mixed up, but amazing movie.
Yeah, so
2 of my faves.
Really good ones. I would say I love No Way Home, obviously. Like just nothing will like
so good
ever come close to the feeling like I watched No Way Home for the first time in a really big theater in Disney Springs at midnight. And so the only people that were there like were super fans, and the theater filled to the brim with super fans. So
that's
like
so fun.
When they showed up on screen, like we were all out of our seats jumping up and down. Like it was just
I wish I experienced that.
Such a good feeling.
My theater was boring, but
that's so sad.
Whatever.
No.
Soldier.
Yeah, okay. Captain America the Winter Soldier. A classic. I love it. So good. What was the other one I mentioned? We were talking about this earlier in our
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Yes, I love Ragnarok.
Love Thor.
Short hair Thor.
Whew.
Short hair Thor is
Hottie.
amazing.
Yeah.
And not a movie, but honorable mention. I love Daredevil, the series.
Ooh, I haven't watched it.
You should
I
watch
need
it.
to.
It's so good. Which kind of like leads back to No Way Home, like with the theater being crazy. Like one of my friends I was there with, like he's also a huge like Marvel fan and Daredevil fan. So when Matt Murdock showed up on screen, like we both lost it. We were freaking out. So yeah, I just had to bring up Matt Murdock.
And okay, I know you're a big reader, but what's one of your favorite books? Like if you had to pick one.
Okay, I gotta go with Crooked Kingdom,
which
it's by Leigh Bardugo. It's the second book in Six of Crows, and it's in the Grishaverse, which is Shadow and Bone. If you've watched the show or heard of the books, Crooked Kingdom is the best. I will never shut up about it. Yeah, for books, like I love like dystopian like or fantasy books with a romance subplot. Like, okay, Kanej in Crooked Kingdom. Oh, perfection.
Don't know what this is, but
perfection. Yeah, just
it sounds good.
Yeah. Like also like other series that fit under that I like are like Cruel Prince, Shatter Me, Red Queen. Obviously, I love Summer I Turned Pretty, and Daisy Jones and the Six by TJR is also amazing. So those are like some of my favorites.
Yeah. Again, Great Gatsby, one of my favorite books. I told Addison to read it, but I read it in school.
Putting it on my TBR.
Yes, it was one of the books I actually read in school because I didn't just like skim through it. It was just so good. And then the movie has Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio, so it's amazing.
Yeah, you know, if anything, I'm just gonna read it and watch it for them.
Yeah. And then I love the Selection series. If you guys have read it,
you
shout
made
out
me
to
read
you.
It.
Yeah, I made Addison read it.
I read the first 3 books. It was pretty good. America, the main girl character though, drove me a little
Makes
nuts,
us mad,
but
it's still
really
good.
Yes. Yeah, it's still really good for sure.
Yeah. And then do you want to finish it off with favorite singers?
Favorite singers? I mean, I feel like this is pretty predictable for me. I kind of already mentioned it.
Look at the wall behind.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like Harry Styles. Like he's okay.
Just a little, I guess.
Like he's like, I don't know. I listen to him on occasion. You know, it's definitely not like every single day or anything like that. Because that would be weird and obsessive, right?
It'd be kind of crazy, I guess.
I also love Taylor Swift. She and Harry are my top 2 probably.
Yes. I'm a little different. I listen to both, but I also like a lot of rap. So Drake is one of my favorites, but I also like The Weeknd. And as I said, I listen to those artists, and I love Olivia Rodrigo right now.
Yeah, I feel like we both listen to like Olivia, Harry, and Taylor, and then the rest of the artists you listen to are more on the rap side, like those kind of songs.
I'd say so.
Yeah, and then the rest of the stuff I listen to kind of stays in that same category. So like Olivia, but I also love Gracie Abrams and Conan Gray. I feel like they're more. Oh, One Direction. We both listen to One Direction.
One Direction forever.
But I also listen to Louis and Niall, like apart from One Direction. I listen to a little bit of Zayn, but not as much as the other 3.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it, right? Are we forgetting
all
anything?
we wanted to go over with you guys. I mean, this was just a little introduction to us.
Yeah,
sharing
with what
some of our favorites. Yeah. It's gonna be great. We're super excited.
Yeah. If there's anything like specific that you guys want us to talk about, go to our Instagram. Like I said, it's notyouraveragefangirl.pod. Send us a message. Like if you have an idea for an episode you think
we
would
will
be cool,
answer it.
We'll answer, and like we'll take it into consideration. So like if you guys have ideas, we want to hear them.
Yes. We'll do polls as well. I think we already mentioned that in the beginning, but definitely a lot of engaging things to be included in the podcast. But
why am I holding this like a teacup?
Same, I'm like this.
I keep looking down at my hand, and I've got like one pinky off the microphone.
Yeah. If you're watching this through the video, then you'll see like how we're holding our mics.
Randomly,
drink some tea. I want to eat. I keep like looking at
I know. It looks like a marshmallow, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's so sticky too. Okay. Well, I think that's it for this pilot episode.
That's all.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed the pilot. Like we said, go follow all of the Not Your Average Fangirl accounts and our accounts.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
This is so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.